Alright, so we're just gonna do a short video on Garyu's quest. And for the first part, we will start at Zol Plains. A level 40 unnamed bird, which we will later know as the Flame Eater, will appear. The Flame Eater is resistant to fire, earth, slash, and smash attacks. But the first 3 fights aren't really hard because the levels aren't, they're not too high, so it should be pretty easy for anyone to take care of. But starting from the 4th fight, you might want to take it a little more seriously. So to be honest, the attacks from this Flame Eater is really powerful, and if you're not careful, it could take your entire team out. But, it's still manageable, so on the 5th fight is where you really have to be careful and manage your team properly because it has a ridiculous amount of HP, and you start to really have to recover your MP and use it wisely, otherwise you're gonna be stuck like halfway or even close to ending the fight with nothing left to use. Alright, so this is where we start to take note of the Flame Eater's patterns. Actually, he does the same moves, like, since the first fight, almost the same moves. But, those fights end so quickly, I wouldn't be able to show, like, his moveset. So this is where I actually had to get into the routine of clearing stuff and switching members out at the right timing, and this is where I can show you what it does. So if you notice, it started by summoning 2 minions, and then you'll have to clear those minions as quickly as possible, preferably not give them a chance to act at all. Otherwise, if you take all the attacks from the entire team, I mean the entire Flame Eater team, it's not gonna be easy to survive, and even if you do, it's not gonna be easy to recover from, unless you have a good healer like Mariel. On its 2nd turn, it will use Nail Claw, which is an area physical fire attack. It's not all that powerful by itself, but if the minions are still surviving, then you're gonna have a tough time defending yourself. On the 3rd turn, it will use Down Flame, which is a fire elemental debuff. It will lower the fire resistance of your team, so you're gonna want to be careful to not get hit by its next fire skill while you're having this debuff. So the best way of dealing with this is to get someone else to take the debuff, and then switch that guy out, and the team should be able to withstand the next fire attack without any problems. So on the 4th and final attack of the rotation, the Flame Eater uses Heat Blast, which is actually quite a powerful fire magic attack, and especially if you have Down Flame while you're taking it, your team is most likely not gonna survive, maybe unless they are fully buffed with elemental resistance. But yeah, just don't take the risk. Just switch someone out to get the debuff and then switch them back in. I've seen tactics where people use their 2 reserves. One of them takes Down Flame and then the other takes the Heat Blast, and then they switch their full party in. So that's pretty much the Flame Eater's moveset. So I'm gonna share a little bit about my party. For me, the main attackers were Tuva, Leclerc, and Annabelle. Yeah, Annabelle. So what I did was to use Tuva to do a dark deal first because I needed her to have an increase in damage. Because my Tuva isn't at level 80. I'm not sure if she will be able to do that at level 80, but I don't think so because mine's already at 77. But anyway, I had to do dark deal to have enough power to do damage with Great Wall, and then the combined power of Aiming Flood, Great Wall, and Holy Saber would take down the minions in 1 turn. So this is a really safe party because although Tuva is going to lose HP with Dark Deal, I do have Mariel who has Pure Cradle, and I cast it before the 1st turn of the Flame Eater, but aside from that, Aiming Flood lowers the Flame Eater's physical attack, and Holy Saber lowers its int. Of course, it's not in every turn, sometimes it doesn't happen, but most of the time it keeps my team pretty safe. So that's Dark Deal and Pure Cradle on 1st turn. The 2nd turn will be Aurora Force from Mariel, then Great Wall from Tuva, Aiming Flood from Leclerc, and Holy Saber from Annabelle. I'll then switch them out for Lokido, who will take Down Flame. You can basically use anyone because they're not going to take any damage at all. They just have to have above 150 speed, 160 if you want to be safe, and then switch out for the entire party again. So that's all he does for the entire fight, just take Down Flame and not take any damage at all. Then they come back, I mean the full party, and they take Heat Blast, and then it restarts to the 1st turn, and that's where we go Pure Cradle again and Dark Deal, and then we go back to, the area attacks, and then we switch them out for Lokido. I pretty much do this throughout the entire fight, but when I do have the Another Force gauge charged up, only do it when the minions are out. Otherwise, it's gonna screw up your battle order maybe not for your strategy, but for mine, I did it on another turn and it pretty much screwed up entirely and I had to restart the fight. So yeah, that's pretty much it for my strategy. It might seem like it could go a little faster, but you gotta remember that you have to conserve your mana, and that's why I had to keep switching out, make sure that every rotation they were at least out of the fight for one turn. And yeah, only Leclerc and Tuva were actually regenerating MP. Annabelle and Mariel's were actually dropping throughout the fight, so you really gotta be careful when you plan out your fights. So the next fight will be Gariyu, and after completing this fight, Gariyu will join your party. So, there will be one more fight with a female Flame Eater after this one, but I won't be covering it in this video because we'll only cover as far as getting Gariyu. And Gariyu isn't as powerful as the 5th encounter of the Flame Eater, so you don't have to worry too much about it. As long as you have enough flame resistance and proper healing, you'll probably get through the fight really easily. So I didn't have too much of a strategy going into this fight because, you know, like I said, the stats aren't as strong as the 5th encounter with the Flame Eater, but we're still gonna cover Garyu's moveset. So on his first turn, he will use Burning Shield, which will increase his Slash type and Wind Elemental resistance. Then he will use Flame Strike, which is a mildly strong fire magic attack. By the way, all his attacks are magic. And then he will use I'm Gonna Burn You Up, which basically is down flame of the Flame Eater, and then he will use Fiendish Flame. Now this skill is a little annoying because it's quite powerful. It's a single target fire attack, but it also has poison, and you know, poison in Another Eden is quite the annoying debuff. The last skill in his skill set will be Explosion. It is a single target 2-hit fire attack, and this skill is actually pretty strong, so if you do not have any resistance on you, it can one-shot just about any character, so please be careful with this one. And that's about it for Gariyu. So as you can see, I didn't really prepare for this fight. I didn't even have like half the AF bar when I entered. Also, I didn't really switch anyone or have too much of a strategy. I did also get his debuff and then get hit by his fire attack, and all my units are still standing. So it shows that this fight isn't as hard as the 5th Flame Eater fight. So if you get past the 5th Flame Eater, you're pretty much getting Gariyu into your party. And yeah, that kind of concludes getting Gariyu. So Gariyu is a really good unit. In some ways, he is actually the fire version of Mighty, so if you do have the ability and time to get him, please do so. And if you do have the materials to raise him, please do so as well. So thanks for watching, guys. This has been MG, and I will see you guys soon.